We're here at the Wildcat Sanctuary in Sandstone, Minnesota. We wanted you to be the first with us to take a peek at the new Cheetah brothers, Kitu and Lavani, exploring their yard. Now, they've been in their indoor buildings for a couple of days so that they know where their safe zone is, to make sure they're eating well, drinking well, and settling in before they get access to their outdoor habitat. So like many new residents, they might walk out right away. They might choose to stay indoors and just peek their head out. They might venture out quickly. We've seen all sorts. But there's some interesting facts about cheetahs before they come out is they aren't huge biters initially like other cats are. They're like to stomp their feet and also grab with their dew claws. So we have to watch when you're doing husbandry about their reach. You see a little head poking out. I'm going to be quiet and see if we see them actually come out of the building. If they don't, that's okay. This is on their own time always, and this is a big new change for them. They traveled 2,000 miles to be here at their final and forever home. Now, Lavani is the more submissive one, but he's actually been pretty calm because he's had his brother with him. Looks like we might have a slow progress to coming out to the yard, which is okay. We want them to feel comfortable with every step they take. See if we can see through the fence. Here we go. He looks like he's looking the other way to see the other cats first. Hi, big boy. I know it's hard to see through the branch. Hi, big boy. Welcome home. Welcome home. Are you going to venture out? I bet you your brother is right behind you. You're just joining us. You're seeing the first steps of brothers Lavani and Kitu here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. They arrived 5 a.m. on Saturday. They did really well on the trip, really well so far, been eating well, seem pretty calm, been scratching their indoor logs, really loved the straw since they didn't have straw at the last place they were at, so loved the straw bed. And now we just have first glimpse of him just surveying what's out here before he takes any further steps. Thank you for making their rehoming possible. All that you guys do for us is just so amazing. And because of your support now more than ever during the triple match, your gift goes 3 times as far. If you give $10, it becomes $30, $30 becomes $90. It really goes 3 times as far and is so important for us to always say yes to cats like this, as well as those that are in dire need of a home, like Dash and Winona and Marcus. I don't know if we're going to get very far, huh? That's okay. That's okay. I bet you if you moved, your brother might walk out. But you're in charge. Oh, I see a second head. So we know that Kitu is supposed to be the dominant and Lavani is supposed to be more submissive. But honestly, Lavani's been really brave. And I think that's because if he has his brother, he's comfortable. Where Kitu is probably the one that makes the decisions for the team. So he's a little more apprehensive of his new home because he knows that he needs to make sure everything's safe for him and his brother. What do you think, boys? Slowly but surely. That's okay. I think it won't be long before you come out here and are settled in. But there's more cats on that side. They're very used to us humans, so they're not paying much attention to us. But seeing the little bobcats and lynx on the other side seem to have their attention more. What good boys. So one thing that surprised me is these are our first cheetahs here at the sanctuary, and even though I've seen cheetahs, I've been around cheetahs, I forgot how big cheetahs are. I was really surprised at how tall these guys are, much taller than the cougars, much longer than the cougars. It always surprises me how each species of cat is so distinctly different than the next. Hi, boys.
Is there a staff member available to double check locks at Sky Prairie, please?
Hi, boys. Dash is talking in the background too, so of course I don't think he likes that there's cats that are getting more attention than him right now. So these guys were really socialized to their caretakers. In many zoos, you'll see that they have free contact with cheetahs. Luckily, they did not have free contact with these two. Kitu is definitely very dominant, and so they've lived their whole life together. We know they've been to, I think, 2 to 3 facilities total, part of the species survival program. They're 11-year-old brothers. I hear Shadow now in the background talking too. And they know what a leopard sound is. But they had a really good relationship with their caretakers. They've been in an operant conditioning plan to keep their minds stimulated, as well as have voluntary blood draws for vet days to decrease their stress. So cheetahs are the only cats that have only partially retractable claws, and that's because they need that for those sharp turns they take. That tail is so long, it acts as a rudder. You can see the boys are a little nervous right now, and how you can tell that is the ruff of their necks are raised to make them look bigger and bolder and almost like a hyena. But they're doing very well. And everything is slow motion. So if you're just joining us, we're the Wildcat Sanctuary in Sandstone, Minnesota. We just rehomed 2 cheetahs to our sanctuary, and you are seeing for the very first moment the first steps they're taking into their new sanctuary life. And so you can see they're quite cautious, but not overreactive, which is great. And your donations have already helped us with the future plans for the cheetah and other yards, where these guys will get an outdoor pavilion with infrared heat. And we're also researching wanting to put in heated sidewalks and boulders for them to lay on. And that is in addition to their heated temperature controlled room. So I'm not close enough to see who's who yet, but I don't want to get too close. I don't want to disturb their experience of the yard for the first time. We want it to be as positive as possible. So we are here during our triple match, and your donations make moments like this possible. They make us being able to provide a home for life, not only for those in dire need of rescue that have been privately owned, but those that are in need of just peaceful retirement because they've done their job conserving the species. So yes, we are looking at the corner of their habitat. These guys do have quite a few space for run, since cheetahs love to run, but you have to also remember these are senior cheetahs. They are 11 years old. Some of the longest documented are 20 years in captivity, but the average is 14 to 16 years old in captivity. So these guys are at end of life, and so we want to give them the best retirement years of their life. So if they want to run, they'll get to run along the long 200-foot habitat. If they just want to stroll, they're going to get that option as well. What's that wind? I'm sure that wind brings them some new scents that they haven't smelled before. I'm going to walk over and I'll see if they'll allow me to get a little closer, and if not, I won't push my limits. So if you're just joining us, we're the Wildcat Sanctuary in Sandstone, Minnesota. We're having you share a very special moment with us. This is the first steps in their new world here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Here's Wildcat Sanctuary, Cheetah brothers, Kitu and Lavani. And tell them how proud we are of them. They've done just wonderful in their transition here. Of course, they're very cautious and taking everything in a calculated manner, which is what you would expect from any new resident here at the sanctuary. These boys are 11 years old. They're considered senior or geriatric. In the wild, they'd be at the end of their life expectancy. In captivity, they can live an average of 14 to 16 years. So these guys are still very senior. We're hoping we get the world record in longevity and that they get to live up to 20 years. He just spotted Daisy. So we also added, you can see blinds around their habitat, and that's because cheetahs can be very high stress cats, especially around big cats. So we wanted to provide a blind so that they were couldn't see the big cats right across the way, but of course they can see them in the distance. I'm gonna stand up. Well, we'll probably sign off and let these boys explore the rest of the day here and do it at their own pace. Thank you all for helping us welcome them. So this is a different rehoming effort than we've done before. And there's a lot of questions that can be answered around it. So these guys are not like the privately owned big cats we take in that have been exploited or abused, but these guys are part of the species survival breeding program. And we really want to support zoos that want to make ethical decisions when it's time to retire animals. And so many of the zoos that hold cheetahs will reach out to sanctuaries. Some will pay for transport, some will pay for a stipend for housing. It's all really arrangement between each facility and each sanctuary. And so we really hope we can educate that we want zoos to have lifelong commitments to the animals that they house or breed. And so we're very thankful when they reached out to us to provide a retirement home for these two boys. And this is very different than the backyard breeders who just breed to sell for profit. Those surplus animals we would not consider taking from like a Tim Stark or a Jeff Lowe just to allow them to breed more. It has to be part of a real conservation program by an accredited organization. And so we never take up space for rescues in need, but over the last several years, we've had 5 to 6 habitats open at any given time. And we still said yes to Dash and Winona, Marcus, Wally, and Marlene, but it was time to say yes to other cats that could benefit from life at the sanctuary, our comfort care program, and our individualized care. Because just seeing 5 or 6 empty habitats when we know there are still animals in need, not in desperate need, but in need and could really benefit from the care and the programs we have here at the sanctuary, that is why we chose to say yes to these two brothers. So we're gonna remind you all as we walk down of the triple match. You make moments like this possible because of donations. And so if you've given already, thank you. If you can give today, thank you so very much. I'm going to see if he'll let me sneak in. One last glance as we walk down. I think he's looking at the straw. You might have discovered the Canada lynx neighbor. So these guys are in Cougar Cove, which is near smaller cats because they do not do well near bigger cats. They are very timid of bigger cats and even the smell of bigger cats. So putting them in the cougar area with cougars, bobcats, and lynx was the right choice for these brothers. But we'll sign off as they kind of survey their new spot here at the sanctuary. We'll keep you updated, and thank you all who made their rehoming possible.